got to come out of the gate swinging on Dust 2 on a map that's just so pug style, so aim heavy. If your individuals turn up early, you can make a statement. Endpoint look like they're going to take victory in the knife round here. Bialy can't do much at the end, so that's Endpoint expecting to start up on that T side, and really it's Thomas who needs to stand tall early, as you mentioned, on those entry kills. Such an important factor on Dust 2, especially around A long. You see a lot of T sides made or broken around that A long position, and really predicated on the success of those entry fraggers. Well, it looks like Endpoint have actually selected the CT side that they wish to start on. Going to be on the defensive side of things early, which is quite interesting. They're going to see what AVEZ bring to the table, see what they decide to bring pace-wise, tactics-wise, what kind of executes they're going to work with. And in this pistol round, you have to be looking at Thomas. He was doing absolute work with the USP. I know it feels like he's the only player we're mentioning for Endpoint, but yesterday he just had such a standout day that you're wondering if he can carry it forward today. In the pistol, AVEZ, 2 players dropping down onto utility, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and 1 Molotov. Try and make their way into long, but it's Crucial who's found the opening kills. Mighty Max trying to open up for more in towards pit at the moment. 4-on-5 situation. AVEZ still trying to contest here. Mighty Max, as long as he stays alive, that's what's important. He's got another kill now. On to Bialy. Kyler, he's found Robin in mid, but it's the long push that's really going wrong at the moment for AVEZ. The man advantage in Endpoint's favor.
Well, who is that trapped actually towards long? Whoever it is, they have been able to at least escape and fall back safely. The bomb looks to be heading towards the B site because Endpoint have more or less gone away from it and just given it up. Marcos was the player towards A-long. Kyler will cover as Norot gets the bomb down on the site. Now, Surreal does have a kit, so this retake can come in, but look at the timing. It could be just perfect from the T's point of view. There wasn't quite a kill yet achieved through the doors, but Marcos, just gets the one tap, just gets the encounters. Crucial strikes back, but you wonder if it's too late.
Excellent flank there from Marcos, but it's the 2-on-2 retake still for Endpoint. Thomas looking to open up, and he does so alongside Crucial. Both of them find the USPS headshots, and the primarily UK roster is going to pick up the opening pistol of their map pick. The odds there from our partners over at LootBet indicating that Endpoints are the favourites on this map. AVEZ, not too much of an outside shout, but I do agree with this that they are going to be the slight underdogs in this one.
Oh yes, I think lots of people will be looking at this match and thinking that Endpoint should be the team who come off better, but you've got Bialy on this AVEZ roster. I don't want to count anything out of the pollsters going forward here. They will force off and they will look for what could be a quite dominant stack towards the B side. Now though, an early nade. Mighty Max will start off with utility damage. Does look as if Endpoint are really tedious and really concerned about what AVEZ are going to now throw towards the site. Push comes in. Max up close. Does come off better for one. More have to be found, and that's where Marco and Kyler are allowed at least AVEZ trade kills.
3-on-4 retake into the B site. Force buys worked excellently for AVEZ at the start. Robin's got a nade to hand. Norut's only on 14, but that nade doesn't go anywhere near him. An Endpoint, they might consider backing out of this one already, to be honest with you. Save the rifles forward, go up for a force in the next. And it looks like another classic battle of the force buys, Louis. It's what we saw yesterday on Vertigo for sure. And it looks to be continuing today.
I don't want to pull it past either of these two sides, considering we've watched so much CS in this tournament lately where teams will just buy out and certainly force their economy troubles onto the other team. Thomas might get lucky to find 1 or 2 on the exit here, but there are 3 players there, and not surprised Bialy's allowed the kill onto that one. Not trying to deliver them, so it's a Mac 10 he keeps hold of. Force out. Endpoint. They have to force around this because Thomas and Surreal would have been on double eco if they didn't. Pistols,
I don't know Go on, go on.
No, that was what I was going to say.
Oh, right. Well, there we are. What I was going to say was I'm just perplexed that why did Thomas go for that aggression at the end of the round? He's got one of 2 rifles up for Endpoint in the next. You're guaranteed to force in that next round anyway. Why are you putting one of the only 2 rifles you have on the board in a risky position at the end of the round? Just seems like a bit of a silly choice to be making, Kai. Lower Tunnels has found the SMG, and now it's just an M4 to support those Deagles. This Endpoint CT side, which traditionally is the more difficult side of Dust 2. They've still chosen to start on it. Mighty Max, he's got a Mac 10, so another automatic weapon once again in their hands, but A site now under pressure.
Well, the M4 on short looks for something crucial. Now looks to double up, but actually Surreal got the initial one through the CT smoke. That's a nice bit of spam, but it's only one for Thomas. Who said it can be a stand-up player for Endpoint, but that's insane that Kyler gets that kill back. Now it becomes a winnable scenario, which AVEZ could certainly come off better in. I'm at 10 to find 2 tagged up players. That's a headshot. And that's brilliant from Max. He now looks for 22 HP. And he's to take away Viali his life. He does it. He gets an AK. And for Endpoint, they again win the force buy, and the economic pressure goes back onto AVEZ.
I wonder if this is part of Endpoint's strategy at this point in time. It seems to be a common theme in their matches that these force buys just have to go back and forth, and you have to be very careful about being drawn into that battle of the forces on that CT side. The final kills here, finished by the Deagle of Mighty Max, but still under threat from the force here because AVEZ have got AKs out. It's just utility they're lacking.
Well, there's an opening for Robin to work with an SMG. And looking to farm up the cash. Endpoint. They get a quick advantage on what is an AVEZ force by primarily focusing on the efforts. Got the player jumping up now. Max won't take too much damage, but in fact Crucial loses his encounter. And now a lot more pressure really goes onto these last 2B players. Max and Surreal have to step up.
Robin and Thomas have arrived to defend from mid, and AVEZ, it's Thomas to dismantle them. Kyler eventually puts him down, but he's on just 2 HP now. Robin's got a HE grenade in his hand, but Surreal will finish it off with the MP9. Battle of the Forces, victory for Endpoint in that one. They're going to get the full buy now, up in round 5. AVEZ having to take the eco here realistically to pad out their own money and just try and charge in for a bomb plant somewhere here.
3 AKs. Endpoint start things off with a nice buyout. And it should be an easier one, but I want to see what AVEZ can really achieve now they've got at least some pistols and maybe a chance to learn how Endpoint now approach their CT side on a standard gun round. Marcos for now won't be able to find too much in mid doors. Back up towards short. Typical eco round strat is what AVEZ now try and work with Robin. It's got the opening.
Crucial has a HE grenade to hand, but wants to make sure his rifle's out for when the push does eventually come through. Now he can use it when he can confirm it'll deal some damage. Norwalk taken down, and Kyler and co soon to fall as well. Crucial with the triple kill padding out his statistics on that anti-eco. AVEZ just getting that one out of the way. Looking for the full buy here, but again, it looks like they're going to be struggling a little bit utility-wise. No Molotovs on the board whatsoever, I don't think, for the moment. Marcos, he's not going to be able to get any either. He goes for the HE, so just smokes and flashes, really, that are going to have to do the work here for AVEZ.
AVEZ at this point also going to be looking for that opening kill to really give them a quick advantage. Endpoint send 4 towards A-Long. They know that's going to be the threat on the first gun round. The Molotov does so much damage. Surreal and Thomas for now make it look easy. It was actually the Molotov that allowed Surreal his initial kill in this one. So AVEZ back out and now look towards middle.
That Molotov flash combo was absolutely awesome. Norot just blind completely, doesn't know he's holding W straight into the door and then burns alive in the flames as a result. The early 2-man advantage, and we mentioned it in the pre-game, Louis. A-Long, such an important region of Dust 2. It opens up the entire A bomb site realistically, otherwise you're just stuck going up short. To try and crack in, you need that extra channel of attack. And well, AVEZ can't take it in this round, but they do take Surreal, who's got a nade in hand, but the flash has come through for Mighty Max, and he's whipped instead. It's Robin through the smoke, who gets both the kills that Mighty Max softens. Bialy going for the plant, but there's 3 Endpoint players just waiting in the wings for this retake. Crucial will get the kill in the toe, and eventually, with 2 players alive, Endpoint secure the round.
AVEZ did well for the bomb plant. You can give him that. I think Cyril just got a little bit unlucky that his spray couldn't quite be cleaned up for anything. Max did the hard work. Thought that retake was more or less doable and nicely cleaned up. Just 2 lovely ones through the smoke, really. Robin had the perfect lineup. That means Endpoint find 5 against AVEZ on 1, and it is the Poles who look towards an eco.
They go for just the pistol buy. Get that armor up. See what work we can do, but it feels like it's been an incredibly quick first half. AVEZ trying to be fast-paced in all of these rounds. And it's only really worked out for them once so far. They now look to send all 4 into the B-bomb site. Mighty Max here alone. Struggled the last time, but fully blind. He can find that headshot onto Kyler. Has to hide and stay alive. Flash to buy him space, but they're charging up to his angle ever so close range. He eventually gets another in tunnels. The pistols all surrounding him, but it's Surreal who comes in and bails him out in the end. 6-1 scoreline for Endpoint. Incredibly quickly, it feels like they've taken the very early advantage.
That last round also ending flawlessly. No deaths mean it just allows Endpoint to refill their utility, build up the bank. Now, maybe allow AVEZ a chance to work forward as Marcos gets the first AWP out, I believe, off the map so far. Now looks towards mid doors as standard. Smoke, and the shot will give up the idea that an AWP is in play. Molotov towards long. Endpoint. Early on, sent 3 quickly towards long. They don't put too much presence on short. That's where the Poles, in fact, want to look towards.
Slightly more utility to work with this time for AVEZ. All 5, it looks like. Keen to push short. Check this nade out. Boom! Marcos down to 59. But AVEZ not deterred yet. They keep it passive. They try and burn out more of that CT utility as they can hear the nades going off all around them, but Endpoint know at some point they just have to keep a hold of stuff. Wait for the execute to come in. And AVEZ, any moment, are going to pull the trigger on the A site.
At the point they head out, their utility levels are mainly just going to be Molotovs. 3 Molotovs and a smoke. And they're backing things out towards me. They've still got a CT smoke they could use, but Surreal up close isn't going to be challenged too easily. A bit of a tag through the wall, but in fact the lineup, well, allowed Norop the kill back from this. Robin, an easy trade. And that's all they've been looking for. It's really a delay as Thomas now steps up for 2 of them. A nice easy end up and a nice clean from Robin. Wow, they get 7. AVEZ don't even get onto a site once again.
Excellent flank here from Thomas. You see him traditionally playing around A long. This time gets aggressive from that angle, and Robin with a nice little transfer through the door at the end. Finally, AVEZ call a timeout. It's absolutely the right call. Let's break up some of this CT momentum and figure out what we're doing here. So far, we've just been running up against a brick wall at the moment on Dust 2. 7-1 scoreline against Endpoint's CT side, which is obviously traditionally the weaker one on the map. And look at the kills on all players. 8, 7, 7, 7, 7. It's a completely balanced scorecard.
36 kills in total inside 8 rounds for Endpoint. Certainly gives them a massive advantage. And that round even had an AVEZ AWP, which didn't really seem to do anything. So that felt pointless. Now they've got a scout, some AKs, some rifles, and a chance to maybe look towards 2, but Endpoint, they get 1. They've already got the half in their favour. A much quicker game compared to what we saw earlier. The AWP will at least strike back 1. AVEZ, their advantage at least does get kept in their favour, but Robin and Endpoint, they've looked so good with the trade kills for now.
They've done well to keep it into a 3-on-3 despite their continued attempts at aggression failing. Crucial Could throw his life away here, been tagged by the grenade. He gets timinged, unfortunately. Robin spamming now, has to drop down off the site and wait for Mighty Max to come back in. That's a bit of a whiff Molotov as well. Not the best nade placement as it's Mighty Max to try and deny the plant, but his fire goes down too late. Kyler ever so low. He might be able to convert now, but on the AK, can the IGL find any more kills? Bialy on 3. That's ever so close to finding it. They're stacked up on each other. He's making the noise. He's hoping they peak eventually, and he's definitely committing, but Bialy is the man who finds the headshot. AVEZ, after the timeout, pick up their second round.
Well, Endpoint's money isn't going to be something that they've got to complain about for a while yet. An AWP comes out, M4's to follow. Nice, comfortable Endpoint buy comes out in what's going to be a challenge for AVEZ, who have certainly 3 AKs going forward. There's the AWP on Marcos. No utility, but just body armor to give him some support. Someone to boost up. No one quite going to get caught out yet. There's the flash. There's the fast utility out towards long. AVEZ again try and challenge it, but this time there's a play out close. Robin's going to find him, and 9 times out of 10, Endpoint, they've just been easily holding a long.
And short, it seems as well. Crucial's AWP denying entry once more to the A-bomb site. AVEZ back to the guessing game, back to the drawing board. And I've got a feeling there's a question being asked multiple times in this AVEZ roster at the moment. What now? As Endpoint find the opening kills time and time again. Crucial on the AWP. It looks like they're going to try and run boost over into him, or just static boost actually, but he crouched perfectly and flicks up. Marcos removed. Kai and Kyler. 2 Molotovs, 2 AKs, 5 CTs to find, and Crucial's doing all the work. Kai eventually takes him down, but he's now received a dink as well. Robin will finish it off. Endpoint are taking no mercy on the CT side of Dust 2.
Yeah, and they respond at the perfect time. AVEZ, bit after they pick up a round, they then lose the follow-up round. And while it's not really a terrible state that their economy's dropped down to, they're only going to get a maximum of maybe 3 rifles if they choose to work with this. Crucial, just perfect. You can read that run boost up. First one, just brilliant.
Fantastic kills from him. Getting it done on a short. And yeah, you're right. Pistols supporting the 2 hero AKs, and Crucial. He's rotated around, active, hungry on the B site. Flashed off, though, has to back away. Molotov at his feet to deny the rush. AVEZ, they want to commit B here, and Endpoint just have to hold true against the onslaught.
Feels like an entry kill here for AVEZ. Could certainly give them the time to work with, and they're going for a boost, which you don't see often. Crucial hits that, that's brilliant. And whilst the reel was somewhat flash, they've done so much work, they hold that off so cleanly. Kai, the only player in CT who tried to do the work, 1 kill only back. Thomas, him and Endpoint find 9 in such a dominant fashion here on Dust.
Crucial all the way up on 14 kills, and of course, where would we be if we didn't talk about our case partner, Hellcase? You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use those promo codes to save more and grab what you deserve. 9-2 up already. I'm just so surprised at the pace of this match, if anything, Louis. It's not just how dominant the scoreline is for Endpoint, it's that these rounds seem to be over very quickly.
They've had time to warm up. They've been fully prepared for what AVEZ were really going to throw out. And it's really the first time which Endpoint choose to give up a long and give the poles that side of them up to really work with. On course for now, still in middle and suicide when teammates went out towards a long. Sending and using a lot of utility. The T side. Pairs up and short. The AWP reads it, but Thomas going to find the initial one, and in fact the AWP does nothing. Now AVEZ are stuck with their last 3 players all pushing up from long.
Marcos able to frag from mid. Mighty Max gives away his angle. That nade goes deep car, but there's no one stood there just yet. Endpoint with 4 still alive. They obviously are going to contest this round. They're just waiting for the plant to actually come through first. They don't want to over-aggress. Whilst AVEZ are holding these particular angles. Instead, they're awaiting the smoke to dissipate. They're dropping nades, as you're seeing. Kyler down to 24. Crucial has a Molotov, and the bomb being planted, it won't be used to deny, at least at the moment. He's in CT with that orb. Eventually, it is put down towards ramp. That's going to force some repositioning. Mighty Max is fully blind, though. Kyler's got the first kill. Bialy looking to aggressive now from A long as well. Mighty Max falls, and AVEZ, they hold true on the site. All they need is one opening kill and a freeway into A, and that's enough to win the round.
And you wonder if that's purely because Endpoint gave up long, because that was the key thing they went for. Endpoint, they had two players pushing up on short instead to maybe try and counter that. So you fully understand their idea and logic behind it, but it just wasn't the play that they had to go for. But it's still a case that they've got an AWP, M4s, and a strong bow to go up against AVEZ. Marcos on the AWP, not allowed to find too much yet. Endpoint, they send the early Molotov in. Send a nade. Send off some early utility where, for now, they've had no info.
AVEZ taking this one a lot slower. The objective, same as it always is. Burn the utility. Draw out the grenades. And then pounce when enemy supplies are low. They stick in mid for the moment, hoping that Endpoint get aggressive, which they had done a couple of times previously in this map, but it appears that with the economy in the position it is, they certainly don't want to go for the gambles in this. Time ticking down. AVEZ yet to secure much real map control. They're clearly going to want to go out A long here. Mighty Max has a Molotov to slow on the way in, but he's got no supporting players. So he's just going to have to use this off angle and hope they don't clear him.
Thomas up close, he wants to go for the kills. 2 kills without a response. AVEZ, you can't be doing it like that. Kyler gets one more, but Thomas up to a 3k in this round just makes it look like AVEZ are just not turning up. It feels like he's smurfing. Crucial at least strikes one back. Kai now looks at the player towards long. Thomas is unstoppable, and he's the reason, or part of the reason, why Endpoint are up to 10.
Insanity. Playing around the A-long position, completely isolated, and even gets that 4th kill with an AWP. Beautiful work. Clearly showing he's still in form from yesterday. And 10-3 up our Endpoint, already on the CT side of Dust 2, no less. They've already secured themselves a great round advantage in the half, and AVEZ taking B tunnels, perhaps thinking about a B rush, but deciding that might be a bad idea, actually.
Well, it's fallen short before. They've not always had the best opportunity. But there is still kills coming in towards B. AVEZ are still trying to contest this, and they just don't need to. And all other players is how Marcos finds Surreal, but it's Mighty Max again refragging and keeping it balanced, or rather keeping Endpoint in that one-man advantage. Ensuring AVEZ don't get too much, but this could be an off angle, which Crucial doesn't expect. 2 up close come off better. AVEZ might have the A site now.
Missed the CT AWP down as well. That Molotov is going to delay entry, though. Robin has to be very careful about lower tunnels. Drops the right flash, guesses the right angle, and finds the right kill. 2 on 3 now. As AVEZ look to get the bomb down in this A bomb site. Kai, he's going to post up aggressively on long. Is Bialy going to join him? No. He's going to stick on the site for the moment and make sure that he can defend from the long angle. Nobody actually contesting short here. Means that Bialy as a point of contact has to stay alive at the very minimum. Gets an opening kill, that's good. Kai on short, looking for the second. Shots being whiffed. Thomas eventually finds it. 1-on-1 against Bialy now. Jumps out for the information, spots the player, knows he's back towards ramp. Time under pressure, but it's Bialy who can secure it. 3 kills for the Polish veteran and a 4th round for AVEZ.
I was literally about to say the experience poll comes off better there. 10-4, and that was really the first time Endpoint have been totally challenged. It's felt like AVEZ, they finally did wake up there, and look at what their economy is like heading into what's going to be the last round of the half. Not ideal. It's not perfect. Real's got a scout. I think the rest of them are going to be on some form of pistol, so look at that and think, hold on. Maybe AVEZ still have a chance in this series, or at least in this opening map. Endpoint started this one off really dominating and taking out their opponents with ease. And now the economy is somewhat bust. Allows AVEZ a route back into this.
It certainly does. But we know what players like Surreal can do with that Deagle. He's actually going to pick up the scout in this round. On that force instead. Feeling the slightly longer range rifle, but the economy for AVEZ isn't even in a perfect spot. Norat has to drop down onto a map 10. Endpoint are going to send people long early on, but it's tunnels control that AVEZ wants. The Deagles, we know they can be dangerous. It's about setting them up in the right crossfire, though.
Marcos backs off. AVEZ, lots of presence in lower tunnels and upper tunnels, and it's going to be down to the timing on who wins this peak here. Don't gives up the idea, so Surreal now might have to play this somewhat safer. He still looks to be heading down towards B, but don't let that missed shot concern you yet. Nice and flash in. AVEZ do have players really positioned to even rotate up towards A if they want to.
Remaining passive for AVEZ. If they can burn out the CT utility in this round, it's beautiful because there's just so little of it available, realistically speaking. 5 on 5 yet still as AVEZ pushing towards the A bomb site. Largely uncontested. Crucial sat back Goose in a passive angle. They're going to swing around and look at him. No, they aren't. Crucial will get one free kill. Bialy on the way back in, though. He'll recover with the AK. Thomas, his Deagle's rung out too, and that's dropped the bomb down. That is absolutely huge. Now these pushing players from short, AVEZ, they have to jump down into the crosshairs. Kyler in mid under so much pressure, but he gets it done onto Surreal. That in turn applies pressure onto Robin, who doesn't turn around in time. And AVEZ, they might just have recovered this. They need to pick the bomb up and plant soon, though. There's just 10 seconds left, but there's nothing Endpoint can do to stop it.
Yeah, the AWP got the bomb plant in the end. Kyler just steps up at the right time to ensure the Poles do still have a say in this opening map at least. Hold on. Max with that opening Deagle shot was really good, but it's not going to be enough to close out the round. Norot finds the kill. That means the Poles and AVEZ do get 5.
They will indeed. It looked like it could have been a much more disastrous storyline for the Polish side at the beginning of this map, especially when you look at that first opening foray of rounds. 7-1 up were Endpoint at one point, so a decent job from AVEZ to equalize it somewhat, but the keen advantage still in Endpoint's favor. Now they switch over to the T side here, and they're just going to want to use that pace, absolutely. Get Thomas on a good pistol. He might just be comfortable on the Glock even. They're going to go for the double smoke, triple flash setup, and take it towards the B site.
I like the aggression that AVEZ have gone for a mid. Could be ideal because, in fact, AVEZ have no one towards A. They've gone for the approach where they push 2 in middle to clear out essentially short and long, but they don't expect that in lower tunnels. That's where Thomas comes off better for the opening kill. Zach was there. Endpoint now finding that kill in mid certainly really confuses AVEZ, and Surreal finding Kyler was just a key. He has got a kill back.
Bialy in the site, needs the headshots at some point, needs to stabilize the ship, but it's Norot who can only find 1. Robin, 2 more kills on the way in, and Kai, 2 HP to find 3 players. Less than a kiss needed to send him to the early grave. Endpoint guaranteed this pistol. 11-5 scoreline their way. They need to get through the second round now, because you can almost be sure that AVEZ are going to go for the force here. And if Endpoint, if they get dragged into the war of the forces once again, who knows if they'll stand true enough. On the T side, they should have the advantage. It's just about whether they treat the next one as a bonus or take it seriously.
This is the thing. If AVEZ, I assume they're going to force us up, to be fair. Endpoint obviously will have a buy in this. I don't expect or think forcing up is the right call, but we've seen it so much in this frame of mind. They've gone for the scout and the P250 out. 3 scouts, in fact. Not seen it before, but you can see the idea. That can certainly work out.
You can see the game plan. 4 HE grenades and 3 scouts. Tag them up with the grenades, finish them off with the snipers. Fairly simple. Marcos has even found Crucial straight away. Man advantage given to AVEZ. Only 1 player in the B bomb site. It's a 4-man stack on A. Endpoint for the moment. Sticking in mid. Looking for that map control. Putting their smokes out towards CT spawn. Just keeping AVEZ guessing. Where are we going? Where do you need to rotate your players? And as of yet, AVEZ have no answers.
If AVEZ do get an opening kill here, then I will put my faith in them, but Endpoint have the smoke towards CT. They've got no one in tunnels. They're all going to push up towards mid, which can be unusual, but certainly could work from this point. From this approach, Norrot. Deleted by Surreal. 1 more on site. High. Oh, in fact, deleted by a no-scope in the end.
How on earth did he find that shot onto Mighty Max? Robin's found Bialy, switching to the P2K for Kyler now, but against the Deagle, the smarter decision is retreat. Surreal doesn't really want to get taken out either at this point, just to stop some armor being saved into the next round. They get through the force though, Endpoint. That's the important thing. They'll be 12-5 up against an AVEZ Eco in the next. That's the opportunity for the 13-5 scoreline on Dust 2. Incredibly dominant start that would be.
It just puts AVEZ's force by a really pointless. The frame of mind that you shouldn't have done it. Just didn't need to go for it in the end. Endpoint, look at, oh my word, look at the odds.
Our partners over at LootBet seriously having faith in the Endpoint boys at this point.
Getting worse for AVEZ. Okay.
Yeah. It's just nightmarish for them. They have to take the eco. And I mean, fair enough with those odds. What odds would you give at this 13-5 scoreline, Louis? Like, it perfectly reasonable for my money. Long control sacrificed by AVEZ for free. Endpoint should now have an easy job at getting into that A-bomb site. The pistols, though, they're going for the long flank, and it's Mighty Max from T-Spawn who can spot this one out and stop it from dealing any damage. The Galil at range is taking headshots on low HP, struggling to find the kills, but Robin, or Surreal, coming out of lower tunnels, is looking for more mid damage. Robin found the kill over on A, and that's what really gave the site away completely for free. AVEZ, very little to say about this eco whatsoever.
Yes, it's not gone to plan again. There's at least a kill they pick up. High finds the one on Mighty Max, so that would be a Galil, which he hands over to the CT end. Just need to be careful not to ever commit too much more. Deagle now looks at that one player in CT. They're pushing, and Kai won't have anything going into round. After this one, the Endpoint storming ahead, 13-5 up. AVEZ can force up this to determine whether they've got a say in Dust 2 or whether we go to overpass a lot quicker than they'd have hoped for.
Endpoint can still buy up even if they lose this round. No AWP interestingly picked up. Crucial, sticking on the AK. That might indicate that Endpoint want to move at speed in this round. It looks to be the case. Crucial's going straight out A-long. He's had a brilliant spawn for it. He's straight out already. That's control sacrificed if he can get this kill on Car. Instead, he'll make his way down into the pit. But already, Endpoint can come out of long. Marcos missing his AWP shot on short. Crucial finds Kyler now. AVEZ under immense pressure in this full buy.
No pressure, AVEZ, but you've got to try and step up and get something. So that's what Norrot will do. He'll find Mighty Max and up close while expecting Surreal. It's still a win for the UK player. I just had the info. Marcos, in fact, shuts down Surreal. But Endpoint keep finding the trade kills. They keep pushing together, and they coordinate their approaches so good. While they were considering A-long as an option, they're now backing out and looking towards mid. Got a smoke. Heading towards lower tunnels. Endpoint are about to walk straight out onto an empty B site.
Marcos just missed the timing on the bomb carrier there. Bialy. The double doors where he's trying to look, but the smoke should sorely obscure his vision. He now has to go to window, and Marcos, he's just going to walk straight through that smoke. Bialy's distracted them, but now he's dead. And Marcos is in a 1-on-2 situation. Bomb dropped in the smoke. He swings through, but he can't land that flick. Endpoint on 14, and it's just a matter of time until we get to overpass.
Well, AVEZ, well, they might want to have to consider that map at this point, because I don't see any way they can get back into Dust 2 whatsoever. It's a seriously dominated and a seriously well-played performance from Endpoint so far. AVEZ, you've got the experience of Bialy on your team. I don't think that's even been a use to you. Quick flash out towards long. That's where Endpoint will again look for the early control. But Surreal this time eats the nade down, which they can come off better for an initial one. But 2 quick kills go to AVEZ. Endpoint. They'll look towards mid. B tunnels as maybe another avenue opportunity.
It's all about A-Long on Dust 2. It can make or break T sides. That's what we said. They broke this round for Endpoint, that's for sure. Is it recoverable? That's now the main question. Mighty Max rushing through lower tunnels. He will be able to get into the B-bomb site safely at the very minimum, but there's 3 rifles now available for AVEZ. All of them have armor, and really Endpoint, their primary saving grace is all of these Molotovs. Someone's going out straight away, and Robin's punishing them all. 2 players straight through the smoke, and 2 players denied. Robin gets the 4th total in the round. Endpoint 1 away from overpass.
And it's not even Thomas who's carrying the boys. Robin, in fact, 25 kills. Is certainly securing a dominant performance from Endpoint's perspective. Best player in terms of kill numbers is Bialy. 13 kills he's got. As now AVEZ look towards a double AWP and scout setup. Going to be again so much about timing and the entry kills. 3 towards A long, 1 mid, 1 on B. One of the AWPers down on the B side. Your AVEZ, you just hope you can get some form of entry. Last play in is a opening kill at least for Kai before the trade kills come so quickly from Surreal and Max.
The B site has now fallen once again for AVEZ. It's so difficult to retake, and they're going to have to do it if they want to stay in Dust 2. Bomb down. They know they have to commit. Robin in lower tunnels, waiting to pounce. He has to be careful. There's a player towards top mid in the form of Kyler. He expected this angle, but he's not ready for the pre-fire. Marcos switches onto an AK instead of the sniper he previously had, but Robin just waits for him to advance. Eventually, Marcos finds the kills, rotates back over to Bialy, who's on just 1 after getting tagged by that Molotov. Lucky to be alive, gets a kill, but gets removed. 16-5, a dominant statement from Endpoint.
What a start they come into the series with, and what a performance to maybe help secure yourself a semis final spot. And